today's speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Shashikant. So, Lieutenant Colonel Shashikant Wagmode is from 1994 batch. We call alumni of Sainik School at Ajinkyan. Okay, so because there are like a lot many non-Ajinkyans present on this particular session, so I thought like let me brief about like what is known as Ajinkyan, because people should be aware about that particular terminology. So we are called as like say Ajinkyan. So he is from 1994 batch, and he has vast experience as a leader. As a young officer, he independently led his company in taking out mines for 1 year on the borders. Then he led his company in construction of 36-kilometer border fence. He also led one famous operation during Kerala disasters called as Operation Water Baby. He is adventurous officer, led many operations, expeditions for months together in open sea. Shashi has lots of experience to lead during crisis in Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Coast Guard. For all above dedication and devotion, he has been awarded 4 big awards, including Seva Medal and Maharashtra Gaurav Puraskar. He is jumping into new world of corporate and entrepreneurs. So let's hear from him, leadership during crisis. Over to you, Shashi. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shashikant Danchetti. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is fit and fine at home during this pandemic situation. Everywhere the situation is getting a bit challenging, and the real time has come to test our own strength and weaknesses. Well, gentlemen, without wasting much of time, I'll start my session. This is my third session on this particular forum. First session, which was delivered in the month of April on disaster management, and the second session was delivered in the month of May on how to get connected with nature. And what feedback I got was that I was quite fast in my previous sessions. So this time, being in a very important session, I'll go very slow and very, very deliberate, since it is very, very important for a session for me. I've been traveling, so I'm connected with the mobile. I'll not share any slides. For those who are new, let me again introduce myself. Shashikant also introduced. I am Lieutenant Colonel Shashikant Wagmode from 1994 batch, and I'm an engineer by profession. And presently, I'm at Ahmedabad. Looking at the present scenario, I decided to speak on most challenging and important topic, that is leadership during crisis. It's a very important, very challenging topic. For your ease of understanding and assimilation, I have divided my presentation into 3 different phases. In phase 1, I'll cover introduction to leadership. I'll just give the definition of the leadership and what is the crisis. Phase 2, I'll tell you the types of leaderships with certain examples. And phase 3, that is the most important phase, which I'll tell you how to be a good leader during the crisis. It's a very important phase, and I would request each and everybody to keep connected to the end. Now, if I ask all the participants who are here, around 70 guys, to define what is a leadership, I'm sure everyone would answer it correctly, because it is a word which we use so frequently without really defining it. We take the concept of leadership for granted and assume that we know what is leadership and what a leader looks like. Now, if I ask an entrepreneur to define a leadership, he would define having a business acumen, like setting a vision, or achieving a goal, or a target, or increasing turnover, etc., etc. But if I ask a military person what is leadership, he would certainly define a leadership focusing more on the human qualities like empathy, humility, or diversity. Every answer will be different, but then every answer would be correct. Every leader has their own personal definition of leadership, which influences how they lead and the culture and the direction of their company or organization. The definition of a leadership can also change as the leaders themselves change. With a new leader, a new approach to the leadership comes. which impacts overall culture and discipline of the employee. If you see in military also, there is a difference between a Gorkha leader and a Maratha leader and a Madras leader. Everyone has a different quality and a different way of functioning. Also, if you remember 10 years before, the way Dr. Manmohan Singh and the present Prime Minister Honorable Shri Narendra Modi, there is a drastic difference in their leadership style. That means a leadership change or leader change, the style also change. Now in Oxford, as per the new Oxford Dictionary of English, defines leadership as an action of leading a group of people or an organization. It can be anyone. It can be a young, it can be an old, it can be of any caste, any creed, any color. Now, what do you mean by the word particularly leader? The word leader comes from the old English dictionary, Laden. Laden means to go before as a guide. It was first used in English in 14th century to describe a person in charge. The word leader was used in the reference to an opinion article in a British newspaper in 1837. Now, gentlemen, what is crisis? Crisis means a time of intense difficulty or a danger. It can be anything. We Indians are used to this word. It can be during the war. It can be during the outbreak of the pandemic or threat to the nation. Crisis is nothing new for us. Every company, every organization, every family, or every individual will face a crisis at some point of time. It may be big, it may be small, it may be fast burning, or it can be a long shadow. And great leadership seems easy when things are wonderful, when things are goody-goody, when everything is going well. But when the time grows from tough to tougher, when the situation goes from bad to worst, then the actual crisis leadership takes birth. Leadership in crisis situation will face a number of different pressures, including unusual circumstances, limited or conflicting informations, and need for immediate and decisive action. And a leadership during crisis is what distinguishes a great leader from a manager. There is a difference between a crisis leader and a crisis manager. Now you'll ask me, what is the difference between the crisis leader and the crisis manager? The main difference between a crisis leader and a crisis manager is a focus. Crisis manager leader is guided by a protocols or SOPs or so-called as standard operating procedures. And a crisis leaders are guided by the principles, values, and his ethics. Let me tell you in a very short and simple term, I would say managers do things right and a leader does right things. So what I want to say, don't be a crisis manager, be a crisis leader. Let me remind you, great leaders were manager at some point of time, but not all managers make to the leadership position. You yourself can now judge from your company that managers can become a leader, and leader needs a managerial skill. So the key to the great leadership is how well they handle during the crisis and how well they manage and lead at the same time. I hope I'm clear. Okay, for instance, let me give a small example of a former president of the United States, Mr. Barack Obama. He is known for both for his leadership as well as a managerial skill. If you hear his one or two speeches, you'll come to know. The way he speaks shows his leadership qualities, and the way he works shows his managerial skills. On the other hand, there are those leaders, I'll not name them, who are exceptionally dynamic, charismatic, had a good personality, and same time failed or failing to exercise leadership during the crisis. You know well, I'm trying to indicate whom. Leadership skill plays very, very important role in military to lead, to let your men into war. And in a corporate world, leadership can play a large role in career development or in a company development or in a building a strong nation. Your technical skill may take you up to a certain limit, but yes, then to move forward in your career, you probably need the ability to be a good leader. Therefore, leadership skills are considered to be important trait that can help you to go to the top of the world. Few people are the born leaders, like Subhash Chandra Bose, Swami Vivekananda, Bhimrao Ambedkar. But most of the people like me needs to practice daily to become a good leader. And that is why the leadership development is considered to be so important in daily life in all organizations, in all the companies. This was just an introduction to the leadership and crisis. Now coming to the phase 2, that is types of leadership. Let me tell you, there are around 25 to 30 types of leadership. I'll not rattle out everything from A to Z, but I'll just tell you some important types of leadership around 8 to 9. First is autocratic leadership. The moment I say autocratic leadership and the present generation, the first thing comes to my mind is that Kim Jong-un, a North Korean supreme leader, self-styled leader, not guided by any rules, not by any regulations, not by any SOPs. This is apne man ka raja. He's a typical a leader like his father, and he started. He is a leader from 2011. He's also leading the country in the autocratic style, and there is a very thin line between a dictatorship leader and an autocratic leader. Now, second is a democratic leader. Gentlemen, the moment I say the democratic leader, we have one of the best example, a very talented and versatile personality as of now, is Shri Ratan Tata, who is a great leader who engages more democratic style of leadership approach by encouraging his group leadership, by creating a group communication and participation. Unlike his father, J.R.D. Tata, who was a typical diplomatic leader, the way he used to handle Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru during the industrialization or during the after the independence. Next, third leadership is a strategic leadership. A strategic leadership, being in Maharashtra, I remember the only one person who is a great strategist, is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who was often compared with the Alexander and Caesar. No doubt all three have got a different perspective to look at their life. But imagine this leader at the age of 13, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj showed his strategic leadership qualities, and which there was a famous warfare or tactics which is called as guerrilla warfare. It was also called as the mountain rat. Fourth is a transformation leader. Being in the corporate, a lot of corporate guys have joined or entrepreneurs have joined. The moment I say the transformation leader, it's the best example is Steve Jobs. He was another great leader who transformed Apple into Apple I, Apple II, and into what it is today. This is the more remarkable when one considers how he quit the company and was recalled later to turn around in 1985. Gentlemen, you should read his life story. It's absolutely motivating. The way he struggled in his life, from his biological mother to a college dropout, starting a new venture, to his pancreatic cancer. His journey was absolutely very hard and heart-rending and very, very motivational. If you can read his 5 principles of his life, it's very, very motivational for you. Next is dictatorial leadership. The moment I say dictator, you guys will remember only one person, and that is Adolf Hitler. And second was Benito Mussolini. Both served as a corporal or say Havaldar in our Indian army in World War I, and as a supreme commander in World War II in the Italian and the German army. They led a cruel style of leadership. If you read the book Mein Kampf of the Adolf Hitler, you'll find a lot of positive points about this leader also. Sixth one is the bureaucratic leadership. Very simple example, Winston Churchill or Colin Powell. That is a quiet leadership. Quiet leadership, I would rather say Sachin Tendulkar or Dr. Manmohan Singh. And the last is a servant leadership. Servant leadership, we remember Mother Teresa.
Excuse me, Ambulka.
Or Mahatma Gandhi.
बड़े वाले पैकेट हैं?
हाँ, 20 वाले पैकेट.
20.
Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi, these are the best examples of a servant leadership who serve for the nation for some cause. Mother Teresa served as a servant leader for the leprosy patients and Mahatma Gandhi for our nation. And these are the best examples for a servant leadership. Well, to break a monotony or I'll just on the humor side, I'll say our honorable Prime Minister who keeps on saying always, भाइयों और बहनों, मैं इस देश का चौकीदार हूं, मैं इस देश का सिपाही हूं. Gentlemen, that doesn't mean a servant leadership. It depicts a typical diplomatic leadership or a kind of democratic leadership. Anyway, don't quote my name to him and land him in the trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the most important part of this session, that is a phase 3. Phase 2 was the introduction and types of leadership. Now phase 3, how to be a good leader during the crisis or in such a pandemic situation. I'll go very slowly. The roles and the responsibility of a business leader and organizational leader have dramatically changed in last 6 months. Before COVID, CEO or a executive in a high growth company or an organization like Tata or Reliance or Mahindra or Adani, if you see the balance sheet or a profit or loss statement, the way the cash was flowing from top to bottom itself shows their leadership qualities and the health of the company. Sorry, not Adani. Sorry, not Adani. Before crisis or this pandemic, the CEO or executive were focused on fostering the innovation, driving revenue, rotating cash flow, and gaining the market share. This was just before the COVID. But today, the same leaders, many of the same leaders are busy in making a rapid decision about controlling the cost, maintaining the liquidity, and flowing the cash. They are facing unforeseen roadblocks in disruption in the global supply chain, hundreds of operational challenges, shortage in the operational team, and various other challenges. We have a pandemic crisis in front of us for last 6 to 7 months that has disrupted a global market, business, and every sector of our life. No one knew how much more damage is going to cause over the indeterminate amount of the time. Life is really changing drastically since last 6-7 months. Everyone is struggling and trying to use every best tool available to us to bring about the positive outcome. We need to develop ever more advanced thinking on how to deal with it. Now, as an information technology or IT is becoming more pervasive, the structure of the traditional work environment is changing and is going to change more in the future And maybe this traditional way of leadership or the way is going to get extinct one day. That is not far. A number of alternatives are emerging where the work is performed at a remote location. Existing work practices and managerial style are often not appropriate or failing in this type of an environment. It's not suiting in the pandemic environment. Every leader or a manager are challenged to develop a strategical, flexible organizations in response to increasing the competitive marketplace. Gentlemen, since last 6-7 months, I'm just speaking to a lot of corporate people or entrepreneurs. So let me tell you, the local and the global market has collapsed first time in the history. And it's going to be a challenging for the crisis leader to get back on the track. The crisis leader has to struggle a lot. One of the most exciting new form which has evolved is a virtual world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this pandemic or this era is likely to give birth to so-called as e-leadership, which will come on the top of all the leaderships. Now, let us see what are the key factors to become a good leader during the crisis. First and foremost thing, as a leader, do not panic. Keep calm, show confidence in yourself. We know that the panic or a fear is a normal human response or a natural behavior to any crisis. Our dopamine level in our brain changes and generates a fear factor, which is involuntary. It's not in your hand. Who doesn't get a panic? Everybody gets a panic. One who is a normal state of mind gets a panic. But yes, we, being a leader, should try and control the panic, or how to know how to react in a panic situation. And it comes by practice, and practice. Next time, if any panic situation happens, you just try to practice yourself as, yes, I'll not react. I'll try to act in a different way. Gentlemen, if you have heard the speech of Franklin Roosevelt, 32nd president of US in 1933, he clearly said, gentlemen, let me assert my firm belief. The only thing we have to fear in this world is the fear itself. The fear is nameless, fear is unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes you and your efforts. But then you don't want a fear to drive your decisions, your plans, your ideas, your goals. As a crisis leader, you have to take a decision, and your correct decision ever under a fear and a crisis is going to define your character. It's going to portray your image in front of your men, in front of your employee, in front of your followers. Now, guys will say कि भाई आपने तो बताया कि डरना तो मना है, but इसको control कैसे करें? Now, how to stay cool and not to panic? There are two things. First is, gentlemen, stay focused on the positive. Avoid negative people, negative thoughts, negative talks. Especially during the crisis. Avoid negative WhatsApp group who keeps on discussing negative subject, politics. There will be a lot of people who will be trying to pull you down. There are a lot of people who will try to get you down if you are going ahead. If you want to move forward, just kick those people, those guys, delete them from your life constantly, and think positive and tell yourself that yes, you can do it. You can do it. And at last, I did it. Gentlemen, you must have heard the famous motivated speaker, Vivek Bindra. He always keeps on hammering that you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. That is like a hypnotizing yourself, and then at last you said, yes, I did. You should listen to Vivek Bindra. I've been a good fan of him. Now, during the, if you want to be cool, take 5 minutes of private breaks. Practice relaxation technique, such as meditations, deep breathing. Don't neglect meditations, or don't neglect the spiritual exercises and activities that fit in your belief. I may be sounding a little different, but it works in the odd times. Second, how to stay cool is prioritize and be more focused. Be more conscious about the managing your time, your priorities. Concentrate on only the major issues. Skip the secondary tasks. Pay attention to your own emotions. Gentlemen, it's very, very important. The day you are able to control or dictate your emotions, you have won the battle. Your 90% of the problems are solved. Your own needs, your own behaviors, if you control, you'll be better prepared to handle the human dimensions. As a result, you'll be more capable of containing the crisis, regaining the control, and minimizing the damages. Effectively by preventing or diffusing and reducing the duration and extremely difficult leadership situation. Second one is, gentlemen, is communicate, and communicate. But communicate clearly and kindly. This communication during the crisis is very, very important. When you face a crisis, communications become even more important to avoid rumors. Your team will have hundreds of questions, concerns, thoughts, wild thoughts, mistaken assumptions. The only way to clear them up is keep your team focused and effective is communicate with them. Your every word is like a bond for them. You have to act as a pressure relief valve. If you have seen a boiler, the water boils, and after a certain time, the boiler is about to blast if you don't release the valve. So you have to act like a pressure relief valve so that everything goes normal. Listen to them patiently, be a good listener, keep your words, your promise. Have a discussion with them about what might be driving their motivation. There may be something up and downs which may be going. What would be helpful to maximize their motivation? Shift your mind from problems to causes. You might ask a question like, how is the current situation affecting you at the moment? As a crisis leader, this is your time to listen and create a safe environment in which everyone can talk. Secondly, make sure that your weekly routines are not focused only on the tactical works. As a leader, make there a performance chart, draw a performance cycle. Ask yourself, what impact did we have last week? What did we learn from this week? What commitments do we have this week? How can we help each other in improving this week performance? What experiments will we run? Keep on questioning yourself from morning, afternoon, evening. Keep on questioning to your team. Communication or information is a powerful tool during the crisis, gentlemen, because it reduces your emotional distress caused by the unknown. This pandemic is unknown for each and everybody. It diminishes your fear. Communication provides a tactical guidance and demonstrate to employ that that the leaders are concerned. It gives that, yes, my leader has got a knowledge. He's concerned. Create a lot of, remind them of your purpose. One of the strongest motivator is feeling a strong sense of purpose. Involve them in your solutions. Your answer often can be found within your own team. If you simply ask the right question, ask them for ideas and inputs, and show that you care about their ideas. What are they seeing? And slowly, you will see you'll be closer to your customers, to your suppliers, to your goals. Be present, be visible, and available for 24/7 hours during crisis. A crisis leader never switch off his phone. Number 3 is create your virtual room. Almost every crisis of a certain magnitude has a control room. In fact, every situation or every crisis or in a war, there is something called a war room. So here it's called the control room. If you remember in my last speech, which I gave in the month of May on the how to get connected to the nature, I said, gentlemen, this pandemic has come with a great ferocity, with a great speed, with a great power to disrupt. We are entering in a new concept of a virtual world. No doubt it's going to be challenging for a leader. I don't know how you guys are going to work. I have been attending a lot of sessions in last 6 months. It's really tiring. We have to make more efforts to appear more emotional on the screen. Take my example. On this small mobile screen, I have to express my feelings. My attitude is largely conveyed by the non-verbal signals such as my facial expressions, my tone, my pitch, my voice, my gesture, my posture. It's challenging to keep eye contact with each and everybody continuously. This consumes a lot of energy, but there is no option. We have to get along with it. I don't know how many guys you must have seen the news in last few months. A person forgot to switch off his video, and by mistake he appeared in front of President of Brazil half naked. Such situations are going to appear. There's no doubt about it. Next, 4th is motivation. Motivate others. A true leader should positively influence people when employee or co-worker lose their ambition and passion. A true leader can energize and motivate them. How do leaders motivate people? It's a big question mark. As a crisis leader, understand the people need their wants. For example, if an employee loses a motivation because he or she thinks that he or she, her hard work is not recognized by her boss, talk to, as a good leader, talk to that person. After offer recognition to her, what she deserves or he deserves. Sometimes people loses their motivation because they are facing the difficulties and are tired of doing the same repetitive task which is cumbersome, or are disappointed they are not been asked to get involved, and then they put a tag of bad boss. I'm sure my friends must be smiling with the tag of bad boss. As a leader, you should talk to an employee and ask him or her what's going on, and encourage them to find a new ways to get involved. Let me give me now a small example of my personal life. In 2008, as a squadron commander, I had volunteered to lead my company from peace location to an operational area for construction of a border fence of 36 kilometers in a most challenging mountainous terrain with the altitude of around 3,000 meters to 4,000 meters. I was that time I was a company commander. I just had one officer who was accompanied to IC. We were staying in a small bunker of a size of around 10 feet by 10 feet, made of a thick tin sheet, where there was no mobile connections, no landline, no electricity. If I had called my family, I had to climb on some mountain for 1 hour to get that one stick on my mobile. For that, I had to stand there for hours together. During the construction of the fence, unfortunately, one day we lost, my company, I lost around 4 Jawans in a terrorist ID blast attack. It was a big shock for us. And since I was not from that location, I come from the X location, from my peace location, we were not used to such type of environment, being an engineer or armored engineer. Whole company got nervous, demoralized, and were depressed. It was very difficult to digest. The man who was eating with you or sitting with you for a previous night suddenly blasted into pieces. And that is a time when a crisis leadership comes. It takes birth. It makes you strong. It's very, very challenging to get your men on the track or to motivate them or to convince them, keep their mind occupied, and especially when there is no television, no mobile, no electricity, any source of entertainment. There are a lot of such examples faced in the life, but we are trained for that. We are trained in Sainik School, in National Defense Academy, or in Military Academy for this only. Fifth is, gentlemen, a discipline during crisis. It's more important. Why today the armed forces recognized today in the world? It is just because of a discipline and nothing else. Discipline requires, in order to execute the goal, even if you have got a good vision, good ideas, good creativity, good innovations, gentlemen, mark my word, it's likely to fail without a discipline. If you want to execute effectively, you need to be a discipline. For example, say you or your team want to create a wonderful business plan to attract the investors. You have a lot of great ideas, great thoughts, great business model for the business or a business plan. But there is no discipline in place to ensure that the PowerPoint, I'll just give a simple example. PowerPoint presentation was not rehearsed. And when the time came to present the proposal to the investor, you were not able to properly communicate to or present it. And as the result, your investor declined your proposal. So to be a good leader, first, you need to be yourself a discipline. Let me again give you one personal example of my life. 9 months before, I led an expedition from Mumbai to Oka and back. And this expedition was planned on a completion of 200 years to my ex-organization. This Mumbai to Oka turnaround distance at a time was around 2,500 kilometers on wind sailing. And it was around 21 to 30 days on the world's smallest open sailboat. As a part of a drill or a SOP or what would be, I decided that we will send our own location to controlling unit, which was based in the Mumbai, after every 3 hours at a night and after every 6 hours during day. First 3 days, the winds were very, very high, more than 10 to 15 knots. Tides were more than 2 to 2.5 meters. And the size of our boat was just 16 feet by 6 feet. Imagine, made of a composite fiber. With 6 by 6 feet sitting open space, that means it's equivalent to your queen size bed, on which 4 crew were sitting day night and sailing. And the freeboard, that is freeboard means the level from the water to the tip of your boat, was just 2 feet. Of course, there is a pros and cons also. The better part was that during nature call, we could directly take the water from the sea. Now at the night, out of the 4 members, we keep awake in the badi pairs. On fourth night, while we were we were crossing the Gulf of Kanbat. Gulf of Kanbat, gentlemen, if you see the map, which is the lower portion of the Gujarat, which is an inverted U shape. Since the land breeze were blowing from all three sides, it created the whirl effect at that place, at that particular portion, had a very high current. And this portion is supposed to be a very challenging portion for any small sailing boat to cross. We were wait for last 3 nights. It was cold. It was the month of January. It was very, very cold. The water was filling, gushing inside our boat. We didn't have the food for last 3-4 days. We were sailing day and night, terribly exhausted. But as a SOP, we were supposed to pass our location to after every interval to the base unit, which was in Mumbai, which we didn't do. It was my mistake, no doubt about it. On the 4th night, I didn't take that much efforts to open my satellite phone and pass my location since we were terribly exhausted. On the same night, my boat, steel wire rope, which was the main rope, which was having this sail, that cloth sail, failed due to wear and tear, due to heavy winds. At night, we struggled for 2 hours to fit that rope in that rocking and rolling and pitching environment or the climate. We could not contact our base because since my satellite phone was not working after that, we couldn't pass our last location grid reference. At the Mumbai base, everybody got worried since the weather was very bad. And as the result, after 12 hours, the search and rescue operation was launched by Indian Coast Guard to search us. They had to send a Dornier Recce aircraft to search us. So what I want to say from this, what I want to bring to your notice, that if you would have followed the discipline or this reporting procedure religiously, without shortcut, probably this thing would have been avoided. So gentlemen, the discipline is the key of all the success. Now 6th is know how to delegate. According to Theodore Roosevelt, 26th US president, the best leader or executive is one who has a sense enough to pick a good man to do what he wants to be done. And self-restraint to keep from meddling. This habit of meddling, everyone has got. While to do. A successful leader will never go into a micromanagement. He would delegate his work to his employee and let them feel empowered. If you do this, they will feel more involved and have more opportunities to develop a new skill. So delegating your work will allow you to concentrate on the goals you need to achieve yourself. If you're a project leader or if you're concerned with that project, you are still responsible for that work at the end of the day. Gentlemen, you must have seen, I'll give one small example. You must have seen the famous movie Tanaji. When the Chhatrapati Maharaj delegated the work to his military assistant Tanaji Malusre to capture a single fort, he was given a feeling of empowered leader. He gave an opportunity to develop his own skill, his own innovations, which allowed him to achieve his goal. No doubt at somebody's cost of the life. That was a different part of story. And as I told you, the leader has to be visible throughout the operation or throughout the day during the crisis. Now, next is handling the conflict. Gentlemen, the leaders, crisis leader have to know how to handle difficult people and resolve the conflicts. If an employee doesn't work to the best of his or her ability and brings a negative atmosphere or attitude to the work or spread the negativity in the environment, as a crisis leader, you have to step up and talk to that person in a private. Leaders has to be first honest and straightforward and unbiased. This requires a lot of courage, no doubt about it. It's not so easy to pinpoint somebody and to fire someone. So remember, you should always listen to the employee side first, his story first, before coming to some conclusion, and then take action. Next is a constant learning. During the crisis, there are a lot of changes happening. You can see the normal marketing is going to the digital marketing. The world is shifting from A to B. What John F. Kennedy said, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. When things are changing rapidly as they are changing now, it's important to constantly learn and challenge yourself. What I feel, we should spend at least 10 to 15% of your yearly income on self-development, self-education, books, courses, etc., etc. I'll give my own example. Since I'm changing my uniform world to the corporate or to the entrepreneurship, I'm investing a lot of money into learning, to change myself, to unlearn what I have learned for the last 30 years in uniform. It's very challenging for me. But then there is no other option. There is a lot of difference between an educated leader and an illiterate leader. You yourself can understand from the condition of UP and Bihar. If nothing, if you're educated, your education will save you being afraid of failures as an entrepreneur. At least it will help you to stand high after you fail. Gentlemen, lastly, I'll revise what I said in such situations. To defeat 3 C's, you need to have 7 C's. The 3 C's are Corona, COVID, and China. And you require 7 C's as a crisis leader to defeat these 3 C's. Number 1 C, as I said, stay calm. Your employee, your forces, your customer, your supplier are going to look at you as a leader with a sense of calm through this uncertain pandemic situation. Second C is a confidence. You have to be calm, but not water calm. You have to project your confidence. You have to show you that you are confident, which you are going to see as a successful with minimum amount of hurt towards your employee, towards your organization, or all the customers who are totally relying on you, on your leadership. Number 3 C, I told you communication. Communication and communication to avoid the rumors, to get the water muddy. We need to have a strategy of communication, an order to communicate the decision, to communicate the priorities, a rapid way of communication to the entire team in different phases. Gentlemen, during the crisis, silence is the worst thing which can happen. Number 4 is collaboration. No one can answer this such situation. This is a time to call on the capabilities of each and every employee or each and every individual, and to bring the resources together to overcome the problem, to overcome this type of situation. It's a time to join your hand together and solve the problem. And number 5th is community. Gentlemen, we are social animals. I told you in my session, in the last session also, how we got connected to the nature. We are the social animals. We have evolved after the plants and animals. And we have been staying together. We are living in a community, in a company, in a society. In such situation, we should not look at ourselves. We should not be selfish, but take care of your community, which is our social responsibility to look after each and everybody, being a crisis leader. 6th C is compassion. You and I may be strong stomach to handle such situation, but there are the people who are totally dependent on you. You and me, they need to be given a compassion. Like your maid servant, your driver, your employee, a person in an organization who has an elderly parents or children at their home who may be infected or maybe in a bad state. You need to be doubly concerned. So if they want a time at a home, if they need to work from the home, you need to give them a little space to breathe. The compassion is the main concern in such type of crisis, in such type of pandemic situations. And the last 7 is the most important, that is cash. It is the most important in any of the crisis. Let me tell you, gentlemen, who are entrepreneurs or the people who are leading the companies will tell you, the cash is the king of the crisis. There is no other than cash. Everything is dependent on the cash. Your employee as a leader looks at you for a monetary help and not only at the emotional help in such crisis. I'm sure you guys also must be looking to your bosses that yaar tankha meri aadhi cut kar di, tankha de raha hai ka nahi de raha hai. You're looking at this something cash because this is time you require it. So give them a cash in such situation, not only the emotions. So gentlemen, at last, I would like to say, to become a true leader, you have to lead during a crisis. Any Tom, Dick and Harry, but true leader take birth during the crisis. And that is the time to show your real leadership qualities. I don't know, I have gone very, very fast. But this subject is like this only. It boils your blood. At last, the piece of advice for all the friends and the Ajinkya's, whenever you get an opportunity to lead, just grab it. Let it be a small group, let it be your college group, your school group, your family group. Just try to lead. It gives you immense sense of pride, sense of satisfaction, and a valid reason to work hard. If you're not started, start from today. So once again, I thank everybody for listening me patiently. And Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, teachers for Ajinkya's. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.